Hello, everybody. How's everyone? Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is for you. Just one more day. Just one more day, and we're done. At least with the bulk of it. At least for our faves, hopefully. Wow, it's been a very, very long week, hasn't it? Like at some points it's felt like it's gone very quickly, but also very slowly. But we're here, and it's going to be a week to remember. I'm very sorry if my voice sounds a bit crackly today, but my headphones actually broke, so I don't have headphones. I'm just speaking into the microphone. But thank you so much for being patient. There was a lot to put together today. I did go into central London in the afternoon. I went to my mum's in the morning because I needed to spend time with my mum because it's just been such a long week. And then I went to town in the afternoon. I saw the line, and I also saw the tributes at Green Park. So I have some on the ground feedback for you. Quite interesting. I actually missed in Green Park. I think I actually just missed Beatrice or Eugenie. One of the two went down to see the tributes, I think. And then when I went to the Abbey, I think I just missed Joe Biden, but I probably wouldn't have seen him anyway because I think the entrance for the VIPs was like on the other side of the Abbey, and the line was kind of like snaking around it, so I couldn't get to the main entrance part where people were actually coming in. But yeah, just missed Biden. But his motorcade has been seen all over town. There's absolutely no way that Biden was gonna show up without his beast. But it is tomorrow, and it's kind of mad that this all started with the announcement. And what's crazy to me is, he's wearing a black suit and tie. A lot of the media knew, like midday, that Lizzie was gone. And they just ran around acting as if they didn't know, all for the show. And that tells you a lot. But yes, welcome everybody to the show today. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, and thank you to the mods as always. And welcome everyone. So let's get started. Yes, so what you're seeing in the middle is, okay, I guess let me start from the beginning. So I went to Green Park first, and then afterwards I decided that I wanted to have lunch by Tower Bridge. So what you're seeing on, I guess it would be your left of the screen, is the line on the Tower Bridge side. And I was like, should I follow the line all the way to the end? And then I looked at it on my map, and from Tower Bridge all the way to the Abbey to walk was 55 minutes, just stretch alone. It's like, this is how far people have been walking just to see Lizzie in her box, if she's even in there. So instead, I decided to get a train to St. James, which is the nearest train station to the Abbey. And even when you get to the Abbey, like, the line is winding. It also made me think about, actually, that this has been a huge payday for a lot of people. It's been a payday for contractors, all of that security. Can you imagine? And the taxpayer is paying for all of this security, barricades, motorcades, cars, flowers, memorabilia, and the media. Of course, this is a huge payday for the press. With the line, there have been a few casualties, ambulances taking people in just one day, but a total of over about 1,000 people have received medical attention. So, I mean, if you're standing up and waiting around for that long, especially if you've got elderly people, people with disabilities, pregnant women, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, things like this are going to happen. And I think they could have just gone about this in a much better way, but they wanted the optics, right? And so I actually started the day in Green Park. And these are some of the flowers and tributes. Um, I don't think that there has been as many flowers as there were for Diana because it would have been an absolute sea. What they did at the very beginning was, the first couple of days, every 12 hours, I think it was, they began moving the flowers over to Green Park. And now, if you want to drop flowers, you have to take the cling film off the flowers and put the flowers. And there's a section there where they've got that's kind of like barricaded off, where everybody can go in and put the flowers and look at the flowers. Um, these were some interesting tributes. The one with the smiley face, somebody actually put their baby's picture with the Queen. And the other one, somebody's painted some rocks. A lot of people leaving notes in different languages. I think that one is Japanese. And ultimately, I have always been very much anti-establishment. That is my politics. Um, Even when it comes to my own party, I'm not. I know a lot of people tend to they take one side of a party and they stick to it. I'm not like that. I'm happy to be critical of my side, and I find I just can't be that person that like follows the crowd like this, especially when you got a symbol like the monarchy, which is such a big part of the establishment and the class system in this country. Having said that, having gone down there and seen all these tributes, there were families, there were people young, old, babies, people of different races. Obviously, it's London, it's very diverse. And I just do think ultimately, even though I think that all of this is completely ridiculous and all just part of the establishment flexing its pageantry and power, I think that there are some people who they want the fairy tale. They want to believe that this institution and the crown and the all of the optics and everything, they want to believe that they are actually part of this. They believe that they are part of this. It actually gives them a sense of meaning and happiness. And I guess I just walked away kind of feeling like, well, if it does, it does for some people. And when this country is ready to get off its knees as a collective, because even though there's a lot of Republican sentiment, I don't think it's ever been the majority. Now that could change with King Charles, but it's not the majority at the moment. Um, but for now, people, I think the majority want to believe in the fantasy. They went and they lined up, and I think sometimes you just got to let people have their fantasy. Like, who am I to take it away from them if it gives them a sense of meaning and happiness? I think it's sad, but I guess I've just walked away thinking, well, it is what it is. And for some people, they're never going to question the system. They're never gonna. They'll, we on like this platform. I think we're quite, free thinking people. We can kind of see it for what it is. But for some people, if they want the fantasy, you got to give it to them. Sharon, I hope Harry and Meghan got their bags back and just take them to the service and take them to the car. Yeah, I hope they lie and say that they are coming to the evening service and then just leg it to the airport. Like, oh, because what do you want to be sticking around with this for? For what? Miss people are already queuing outside for this funeral. Yes, they are. Here are the pictures. Here are the tents. The most loyal of royalists. They're in for a pretty chilly night, so I hope they got thermal tents and thermal sleeping bags. FED, they're charging times three the normal amount, price gouging. Yes, indeed. Catherine, right, because they knew no one was going to get flowers like Diana. Yes, I have always maintained that the day of Diana's funeral, the senior members of the royal family looked more shocked at the outpouring than they were upset that Diana died. And if you look at that video footage of the Queen and Philip and all of them kind of like going up and down the flowers, if it wasn't for the fact that they were wearing black, you'd think it was a normal walkabout. They were just taking flowers, shaking hands, and basically just being their robotic self. Marilyn, I've read the cost of the funeral events will be over $2 billion. Think of the impact that money could have had on the lives of British citizens. Well, this is another thing, you know. I think those of us who are of, you know, who've got sane minds look at that and go, this is ridiculous. It could go to people who need it more. But I think there's other people who are very much happy to take part in all of this, who look at that figure and go, well, I contributed to that figure via my taxpayer money, and I'm part of this. This is me. In a weird way, it's like they actually feel that like they are part of the royal family, they are part of this whole big event. And the truth is that you're not, you're just paying for it. And your gas bills are going to go up in 2 weeks. I don't know, like the fantasy that the UK is a country of power and influence. Well, it was at one point. That power is slowly slipping away. Angela, it's a form of escapism. Yes, you have used the exact word that I could not find to describe it, Angela. That is exactly what it is. It is escapism. Even though it may be the reason for their hardship, it is also the thing that gives them a sense of escape. And how weird is that, right? Julia, where are they using the bathroom? So I believe that, so you're given a wristband, right? And that is essentially your part of the queue. So you can actually exit the queue and go get food and use the bathroom at like cafes and stuff, and then re-enter the queue at the exact same place. And if you're, even if other people have gone before you, if your queue number is ahead, you just get to join the queue where you left. Kathy, fantasy, just like people believing a fictional. Yeah, we've heard all about that drama. Giselle, I really think people are paying their respect. She's not my favorite, especially after what she did to die. Yeah, a lot of people are actually just paying their respect because to them, she means something to them. And what can you do? Yes, Angela, I don't think the UK will change, or at least a good portion of it. And it also made me think of something else today in regards to Meghan. For all of these years, you know, the British public have known all of the dramas, all of the debauchery, the stolen wealth, the hoarded wealth. This has never been new information to anyone. And the British public have never really pushed back against the royals at all. So unfortunately for Meghan, I just think that she entered a situation where people who put mediocrity on a pedestal were never really going to embrace someone who tried to bring substance. And so unfortunately, I just don't think that there was anything Meghan could have ever done. More so that person bringing substance with all her accomplishments was a woman of color. Very sad. Sharon, wow, the time we need Tina Michelle. Voice such as says, you and Baron are Patalis doing a great job, but we need that voice that can get down and dirty and nasty. Yeah, I would like that voice as well, but you know, they both have lives, and I think in many ways they created the platform that we could create our platforms. But you know, I don't have that energy and that fire in me. I think Tina and Michelle were special in their own ways, and I'm sure they'll come back. I mean, there's a lot to now talk about since they've stopped, so I'm sure they'll come back when they're ready, when they have the time. But they're both, you know, they've got their own lives, and we're happy to fill in until they're ready to come back. Miss P talks. The thing is, how do they go to the toilet or even? I don't watch. Well, I mean, there are surrounding, you know, hotels and shops and stuff, so they can like leave their tents and then come back. But once it starts to get crowded, they won't be able to move. So they'll be in like nappies, and basically you can get like body wipes. That's how they'll be bathing and cleaning themselves. Completely gross. Um, let's move it along a bit, and then I'll try to get to a comment. So, yeah, it does just make you think. If we can deploy all of this grief, all this mourning, all of these resources for a very privileged group of people, why can't we do it for the homeless, for the disadvantaged, for the abused? You know, those are the questions that I ask when I look at this. Let me just scroll all the way down so I don't miss any of your comments. Yes, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and please subscribe. Marina, someone needs to tell them it's okay to love the institution and question how they've handled things for so long. Is it okay to love the institution though? Because it's an institution that is very problematic. Okay, so on to the next thing. Okay, let's move on to some funnies. So there was meant to be a national moment of silence at 8 p.m. This evening. And there was BBC One had that moment of silence with subtitles and HD. I don't know what they showed on the TV screen. It's probably just Betty's face. And over at Mumsnet, a lady posted, this is Mum of Teens 4 posted, "Do you think it would be okay to do my washing and hanging out tomorrow, the day of the Queen's funeral? If I stick to blacks, as in black clothes, will it be okay to do my washing as long as I stick to washing black clothes?" And then somebody replied saying, "Absolutely not. How could you even consider hanging out washing on the day our Queen is buried? You are acting as if life goes on." As if our whole world hadn't just come to a halt. Ridiculous. Just wow. And also, over at the footy, they were definitely not observing that minute silence. And this is what they did at I think it was the Celtics game, Rangers. Yes, so if you didn't hear what they were saying, they were basically saying, if you hate the royal family, clap your hands. If you hate the royal family, hate the royal family, hate the royal family, clap your hands. So yeah, they're definitely not down for King Charles or the the rest of the royal family. Yeah. Roseanne, I will be washing clothes tomorrow, bright colors too. Yes, you do that. So yeah, that was that. Also, so Edward and Sophie went on a walkabout, and Sophie would like you to know that she was definitely not the one who talked about Archie's skin color. Because here she is, of all the babies that she could have picked up, my girl found the darkest black child in the queue to pick up and give a hug. So it definitely wasn't Sophie, y'all, that commented about Archie's skin color. Just so you all know. And Edward said that his hand might fall off if he continues to shake hands. Such hard work he's doing. And you know, for these people, they are just so happy that they've moved up a rank. It's like they've done their, sad face part of the morning, and now it's time to go back to the walkabouts. Some more commentary from Twitter. Matt Thomas saying, make the funeral pay-per-view. Let's see how committed the monarchists are when it's £19.95. Oh, that would have been brilliant if they did that. David Kerr saying, David Beckham waits 12 hours to see a box with a flag on it and he's somehow a hero. LeGrand waits 14 hours on an ambulance and nobody gives an This is the UK in 2020. Get off your knees. Yes, a lot of people were praising David Beckham for lining up for 12 hours. And I didn't get that. Why are you praising a celebrity? You know, he's already an OBE, MBE, OBGYN, whatever it is. So, you know, why does he need praise for lining up to see a box? I don't understand it. And also Declan Cassin saying, hope they remembered the morning after pill, with the jokes there. I have to say, Twitter has been the funnest place to be this last week. Yeah, if you hate the royal family, clap your hands. Oh dear. Faith Miller, wow, re-washing the clothes. I have a Zoom call and an appointment for an oil change tomorrow morning. Ladybird, Edward ever held a job? I think he tried to start some theatre company, TV network thingy, and that just never went anywhere. Yes, Miss P talks. Hugging a child of colour when you hate Prince Harry's wife. Jacques, did anyone see on Twitter some teachers might be testing the kids on Tuesday about the funeral? Oh gosh. Take your kids out of school, y'all. If I had children, and I don't think I will, they would be homeschooled. Apparently, there will also be nurses as part of the procession or something. And I mean, those nurses should be at work tomorrow, looking after patients. But instead, they're cancelling appointments. Ridiculous. Jackie Thomas. No, I love David Beckham. Let's leave that. No, I don't have a problem with David Beckham personally. I just have a problem that people are praising him for queuing. I don't understand that. Okay, on to the next thing. Yeah, so some interesting pictures coming out of the Abbey. Here you have a black guy who decided to literally bow to the floor, right to the floor. I also saw another video of two small black children who were also bowing, and I find that very problematic for reasons obvious. And also in the bottom picture, somebody's Uncle Gary went head to toe in sporty Union Jack gear. So, please, somebody come get your uncles. Uncle Bow Bow and Uncle Union Jack. Also, this article came out in the Daily Fail, and I posted this both on the Doctors of Success Instagram and on my personal Instagram, and everybody was just like, what the fresh hell is this headline? So Kate was at a reception, and the Daily Fail, with its, you know, masterful writing, Princess of Wales is confident and regal as she puts her guests at ease with active listening techniques, touch rituals, and prolonged engagement, claims body language expert. That is the most interesting way I've ever heard someone say, Kate listened and looked. And of course, the sympathetic touches were given to a black man. There was also another article saying that Kate may ditch her signature style dress to prepare for her queen role, and that will include cut tailoring and imposing hats. Yes, that is what your taxpayer money is going to go towards now. Imposing hats. Marilyn Matthews won't be watching the funeral, but will be paying for H&M. Well, no worries. I'm going to take one for the team. And if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, literally as soon as I see Harry and Meghan like getting out the car, in the car, I will be taking screenshots and posting them pretty much within like a minute that I see them. Mhm. Roseanne, I homeschool my son. Best thing I ever did. Yeah, I'd probably do it as well. If you've got teachers testing about the Queen's funeral. Um, mm, um, Benjamin, why are monarchists making a big deal about pushing false narratives of Harry and Meghan wanting special treatment? Meanwhile, every rule and norm was broken for CNC, Charles and Camilla to marry. Now, who gets special treatment? Well, one rule for the Sussexes, another for them. Julia, it's 11 a.m. in England. Yes, it's past 11 a.m. uh, uh, okay, so that's that. Also, other people have commented on the fact that Catherine seems to have raided the Queen's jewelry box. Now, obviously, you know, the royal women are probably going to inherit some of Betty's jewelry. I don't know. Like, is it just me? Do you think it's weird? I'm sorry, I've actually blocked the picture of Catherine's necklace, but she is wearing the Queen's signature 3-strand pearls. Like, these were her signature pearls that she wore all the time. And I don't know. Like, you tell me in the comment section. Do you think it's weird that she's wearing wearing her signature jewelry pieces like so soon after she's dead? I think also the pearl earrings are hers, and I think also the brooch that she wore the other day might have been the Queen's as well. It's like, damn, like the body is barely cold and you're already going through her jewelry box. Mm. H Night, some people in the UK are so brainwashed. Well, that's been pretty obvious uh, this past week. Donna, we need a Queen's funeral drinking game. I'm so surprised that nobody's come up with one already. Karen M, they seem happy she's dead. Well, here they are, smiling and waving, and I mean, let's be honest. I don't know. I don't know if I would go as far as to say they're happy she's dead, because I don't know that for a fact. But I think it would be naive to think that, you know, they don't feel, I guess, some sense of I mean, look, they've all moved up a rank, right? So, you know, it's about getting as close to that crown as possible, and they're all one step closer to that crown, is what I'll say. Wendy Lohman, Kate, sorry, that is in poor taste if she did that. Well, it seems like she did, but simply wearing pearls won't make you queenly. Sylvia, yes, I think it's weird since the Queen is not buried yet. She did a similar thing with Diana's earrings at Archie's christening. It's not the first time she's done something like this. Margaret, while everyone was rushing to Balmoral, Kate was rushing for the jewels. It seems so. Kathy G. Kathy G, I'm not going to put your comment on the screen, but it's hilarious. Oh dear. That was so shady. So yeah, also the Kensington Palace bots are not off. They're not off. So Sunshine Sacks suddenly started trending earlier today. For what reason, I don't know. I have to just assume it's the bots. And when you actually look at some of the accounts that are that were posting about Sunshine Sacks, something about Harry and Meghan leaving Sunshine Sacks. This is actually the second time, I think, in a few months that Sunshine Sacks has trended, like with very weird bot activity. But the bot accounts are getting more and more weird. So there's this one that I saw that posted about Sunshine Sacks, and very obviously a bot account. And it said in its bio, American living in the Caribbean. My favorite things about living in the Commonwealth, I like seeing the Queen on the money, and I get to use the word fortnight. So not only have they not switched off the bots are getting crazier. Poetry is polite. This is all very sad and hilarious because they will soon feel reality. Or once that fuel bill hits, indeed they will. There were a few funny posts that were going around. Abolish the Monarchy starter kit, Oprah interview, Netflix, tampon, and pen. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is going to be a week to remember for so many reasons. And after King Charles and Consort Camilla come William and Consort Kate. And a lot of people are asking, there seems to be space between these two. And, what is the monarchy even going to look like by the time it's their turn? That's going to be the next question I think we have to ask. Legs, is this morning in Britain? They are bringing together world leaders so they can socialize. No wonder everyone tries to leave when it's over. Well, this is one of the reasons actually I'm glad that Harry and Meghan are not going to the state dinner, because it's very much a who's who of like the global elite leaders. And I don't know, like when I think about it, really, I don't know if I would have if I would have wanted them in this room. Biden and his wife there, oh look, holding hands, which we now know is a crime against humanity. Princess B, when H&M first met, they were discussing articles about M possibly stealing crown jewels. Now look who's stealing. Yes, it's always projection, isn't it, with them lot? So we know really who was stealing the jewels. Yeah, also with the state dinner, something happened with the Denmark's crown princess. So she was invited and then uninvited. And the palace actually put out a statement about it. Now, I have no idea why they needed to put out a statement. I don't know, if she was uninvited, why do I need to know? I did wonder if the reason they made this public was because they realized, as they always do after they make idiots of themselves, how bad it looked that Harry and Meghan appeared to be uninvited, or they put that narrative out, because I think that Harry and Meghan actually declined, and then they had to make it look like they had uninvited them. And so I wondered if they put out the story to make it look like, oh, we weren't being mean to Harry and Meghan, look, we've uninvited someone else as well. Because I thought that we didn't complain and explain things. I don't understand why they couldn't have just told this lady in private, listen, we've messed up with a seating plan, you can't come. So, it looks like they're just a mess and they can't keep themselves organized. But she can go have dinner with Harry and Meghan at Frogmore Cottage. She doesn't need to go to some fancy smanchy event. Yes, H night, the French president and his wife were holding hands also. I was today years old when I found out that Emmanuel Macron and Bridget met when he was 15 and I think she was 40, and she was a teacher at his school. That is interesting. Catch P. Oh, sorry, Catch KP. I bet the other leaders are saying, is this how you treat your family? Why should we have to do business with your country? Well, for them, this is very much a business event. I don't think I actually have the picture, but there was Kate made sure that she got a picture with Zelensky's wife. She absolutely made sure. Jackie Thomas, Emmanuel Macron is gorgeous. We have an Emmanuel fan. Sister, they disinvited Crown Princess Mary of Denmark, but invited the disgraced Spanish king. Yeah. I do wonder if this has anything to do with the fact that Kate went to Denmark and that tour was, I wouldn't say it was a disaster, but it was met with a little bit of disapproval from some Danes because the press weren't too happy that they weren't allowed to ask certain questions. And then also they didn't really have a lot of control over what the how the Danish press were writing. And one of the things that some people noticed was that the Danish press were not airbrushing the pictures the way the British press do. So I wonder if that has something to do with it. Just a theory. Um, oh, Lady Bird. Yes, she was a teacher. Yeah, he was 14. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Ugh, no comment. um, the Danish crown princess also wasn't invited to William and Kate's wedding. Do you know what? This is why the Windsors have no friends. Because if you noticed, um, the other royals seem to be genuinely quite friendly. Both as individual families, they actually act like families, and then between them, they socialize quite often. I think is it the Swedish and the Norway family? Like I've seen them on skiing holidays together. It's like nobody wants to be friends with the Windsors. Gail, they weren't the ones that reported on the Denmark's uninvite. It showed up in the Denmark papers first. Oh, did it? I thought it showed up in was it the Telegraph or the Times? Well, that's where I saw it first. Okay, so there was that. Now, yes, there was Harry at the vigil yesterday. I was actually going to do the podcast about Harry at the vigil yesterday, but I obviously, I think I did a podcast in the morning and then I was just exhausted in the evening. But he did go to the vigil and he looked incredible. He hit all his marks. I mean, his posture, his turns, everything was perfect. And so, of course, they had to do something or say something to make Harry look bad. And I think that all this time, they've not wanted Harry to be in his uniform because of just how darn kingly he looks. And so there was a story that came out today about they took the HR like the HR logo away from, like, they pulled it off a part of his costume. Now I can see it on the hat, so I don't know if it was on the shoulder, because I can see in the picture, if you look at the picture with Harry and William in the corner, William has it on his shoulder. Interesting, on Harry's wedding day, he didn't have it on his shoulder either. I wonder if they did that on purpose. But basically, I just think that they released this story once again to make Harry look bad, but it just makes them look bad. You know, why would you take off the Queen's logo, whatever it is? Why would you take it off of his uniform on the day that he's going to pay respect to his grandmother at a vigil? And why would you then post that in the media? I don't know what these courtiers think they're doing, but at every turn they make themselves look worse and worse and worse. Yes, the Windsors are pompous. I can't imagine them just like having a good time. Yes, Harry stole the show once again. I mean, look at these pictures. Look at his like his shoulders, his hands, his whole stance. Dr. Zane, who's amazing on Twitter, by the way, at Booked and Busy, go follow her. She said, "You know what I hate? That husband of my sister is going to come out all poised and majestic and owning whatever he will be wearing, and bring some class and attention to what is essentially a PR-ish show. Like, bottle that magic and save it for your brand." And it's true. And I was, happy to see Harry yesterday, but I'm glad that we won't be seeing him in things like this for a very, very long time. And I only say it like that because, well, Charles probably only has a good 20, 30 years on him. But, you know, who knows what I mean, the relationship is pretty bad now. Who knows what it will look like in 20, 30 years when Charles passes. We've got to go through all of this all over again. Will I even have the do you know what? If I stop the podcast in 20 or 30 years, I will literally come back. I will, guys. Remember that Anne said this. In 20 or 30 years, and we have to do this all over again, I will be here. I'm just saying it now. If YouTube is here, I will be here. Uh, um, yes, Gail Lewis. Every inch the Kington soldier puts the others to shame. Something else that popped up that I think is quite troubling. So, the Daily Fail posted this article that was titled "Prince William and Princess Kate consider taking 9-year-old George to the Queen's funeral after senior palace advisors urged the move, saying second in line to the throne presence would send a powerful symbolic message to reassure the nation. First of all, the United Kingdom does not need a 9-year-old to go to an event like this to reassure the nation. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And really, what this headline by Kate Manzi, the liar, the one who lied about Harry's security, what this actually is, I think, is a dog whistle to Kate and William saying, give us your kids. And look at the picture that they use at the bottom there. They literally use a picture of Harry and William at their mother's funeral, behind their mother's coffin. And they now want to drag 9-year-old George and possibly the other children out at this event to parade them around for PR and for pictures so that the press can make money. That is just vile. They are once again repeating the mistakes of the past. Now, I don't see a problem with the kids going to their grandmother's funeral, but I think that they should be brought in a side entrance and not put front and center. You know, they can go sit with Auntie Eugenie and not feel the pressure and the weight of the whole nation's eyes. I think that is just abuse. And if tomorrow we see these children walking out behind their grandmother's coffin the way Harry and William did, I mean, listen, I'm already just disgusted by these people. I think that would just be, it's just the same thing, right? History repeating itself. Them showing themselves once again for what they are. And like my royalty account said, if they decide to bring him, because they, as his parents, decide he is ready and should go, that is their decision. The nation doesn't need to be reassured by a child, and parents shouldn't be pressured to parade him in front of the public. The courtiers never learn. No, they don't. And also, even if you look at the other picture to the side of Harry, that's one of the other grandchildren. I think he was only 14. And also Lady Louise, she's quite young as well. I don't think that this is not okay. Making children mourn publicly like this, it's not okay at all. I actually consider this abuse, and there's no protection at all for these children. They are children. They shouldn't be part of this ridiculous circus and parade. Let them be kids. Anne Lewis, and we still have next year's coronation. Yes, and okay, I'll definitely be here next year. But in 20 or 30 years, I will be here also. Ginger Lily, thank you so much for the super chat. Harry's posture was on point. He's the epitome of class. William, on the other hand, lacked self-confidence with his hunched shoulders. Yeah, he was very tense. Oh, it's Arnold in the chat. I think I missed your first comment, but welcome, welcome. I hope you're feeling better. Arnold Sanders. The new thing on Twitter is Harry has a black barber. Well, his fade and shave is looking mighty lit, I have to say. We know who Meghan's hair and makeup people are. Sure, Harry's got a glam squad too. Yo, Lewis, Harry looks taller this week. I'm sure the angels are elevating him. I'm sure they are as well. I'm sure his mother is. The poetry is polite. I think Harry is the only one actually mourning. Him and Meghan are the only two that I have seen actually mourning at almost every part of this. Oh. I mean, the corgis are probably more upset than some of Lizzie's other family members. Mad Wisdom, is a 9-year-old a working royal? Well, they treat him like one. You know, they take him sometimes to events, which is just, it's not okay. It's really not okay. Doris, and you're giving him too many years. Will and Charles will be at each other's throat, raising Charles's high blood pressure, hence a heart attack. Well, he's got somebody to squeeze his toothpaste and pick his rubbish out of the bin. So if you've got people to do that for you, you've probably got another good 20 or 30 years on you. Patricia, I didn't like the fact that they had Edward's son in the grandchildren thing. No, he's too young. And this is like, it's just psychologically damaging for all of these children. All right. Andrew put out a statement, and Chris Ship actually posted Andrew's statement with this picture of Lizzie. And of course, he had to put a picture of Andrew as a baby because we all know that he grew up being a nonce. But Andrew's statement was so cringe. It reads, "Dear Mummy," yes, this whole grown man is using mummy. "Dear Mummy, Mother, Your Majesty, 3 in 1. Your Majesty, it has been an honor and privilege to serve you. Mother of the nation, your devotion and personal service to our nation is unique and singular. Your people show their love and respect in so many different ways, and I know you are looking on honoring their respect. Yes, honoring their respect so much you paid 12 million for you, sir, to avoid court. Mummy, Mummy, your love for a son, your compassion, your care. Oh yeah, nothing says care like paying 12 million to your accuser. Your confidence I will treasure forever, along with the inheritance money, I'm sure. I have found your knowledge and wisdom infinite, with no boundary or containment. I will miss insights, advice, and humor. As our book of experiences closes, another opens, and I will forever hold you close to my heart with my deepest love and gratitude. I mean, I'd be grateful if my mum paid 12 million to my accuser. And I will tread gladly into the next with you as my guide. And God save the king. Yeah, that's Andrew for you. Miss P talks, those poor corgis. Yeah, well, at least the teddy bears are getting a break. Oh, I can't remember who said it, but oh yeah, Jackie Thomas. George will be younger than Harry at the time of Diana's death. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, his family. Kathy G, is this a joke? No, it's actually not a joke. This was his actual statement. This isn't a joke statement that somebody did of Andrew's statement. This is Andrew's statement. Ugh, gross. All right. Was there anything else? Yeah, I think this was the guy who tried to. Okay, a man who was arrested in Westminster Hall has been charged. Mohammed Khan of Tower Hamlets was charged on Saturday with an offence under Section 4A, behaviour to cause alarm, harassment, or distress. So I believe that this is the guy that tried to go for the Queen's coffin. That's him. So he's been charged. Anything else I need to mention and just make sure, because I have so many slides today, make sure that I have not missed anything. No, I think that is pretty much everything for today. I guess I'll just end with oh yes, no, sorry, there was one more thing. So Charles wants to amend the law on who can act as his official stand-in. So the king wants the law amended so that councillors of state are working members of the royal family. The move would see the Duke of York and Duke of Sussex and Princess Beatrice all relieved of their duties as official stand-ins for the sovereign. Okay, fantastic. Less work for Harry. But do you know what, who this actually sucks for? It sucks for Charles. Because he is icing out the one person in that family who actually seems to have care or compassion for anyone. And it would seem that in her final days, it was Harry who was most concerned for the Queen's well-being, to the point where he publicly said on the Today Show, actually felt the need to publicly say something on a big network about it. And if anyone was going to actually care for Charles in his old age, it would have been Harry. So if Charles wants to ice him out completely now, literally amending laws, fine. Let it be that way. Yes, and with that, we are absolutely finished today. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, tomorrow's a big day, and then hopefully it will be back to Montecito. Oi, okay, let's finish with your comments, and then we will wrap it up. Let me put a nice picture up. Harry being kingly. There you go. Thank you so much, everyone, as always, and thank you for this whole week. I mean, there's been the ups and downs, but it's been interesting. It's been interesting to observe. We are essentially we're witnessing history. Benjamin, you're killing me with the mummy. And do you know what? I absolutely bet that even in person, he calls her mummy. Oh, Marina, he was probably hugging his teddy bear while writing that cringy statement. I bet he was. Anne Lewis, King Charles is expected to walk behind the gun carriage up to Marble Arch before the coffin is transferred to the hearse. That is too long for Charles. He's 70. Well, you know, I'm sure he's been lifting them weights, and I'll probably give him a nice, you know, vitamin C infusion. Give him some Red Bull, and he'll be fine. Anastasia, I saw that Sweaty, Andy, and Sarah are divorced. I believe they are, but I think they still live together though. But you see them with each other still. She hasn't been seen this week, which is quite interesting. Princess B, I have a feeling the Queen left Harry a huge chunk in her will. Well, he was her favourite grandson. So, you know, sometimes parents and grandparents can be very cold in life, but in death they'll surprise you. And I have seen this even in my own family circles, where you've had an elder die and you'll be surprised who they actually, you know, leave money and assets to. Ginger Lily, he will be making a court appearance on the day of the Queen's funeral. I thought they were cancelling all kinds of appointments for her. Yeah. Not for him though. Not for him. Marina, can the spirit of Lizzie just let the people go? This mourning period is driving people crazy. I mean, I did a survey on my personal Instagram, because obviously my Duchess of Success one is biased. But even on my personal one, people who don't necessarily follow the royals, who don't really feel one way or the other about Harry and Meghan, overwhelmingly they said the coverage has been too much. Our Carter, it takes over a week to put a statement out on the death of your mother. Why bother? That is true. But I guess these things are kind of timed. I don't think Kate's put out a statement though. Kathy G, working roles is so funny to me. Anything less than 40 hours is part-time. Well, they don't even do part-time. They don't do quarter time. They show up and wave. There's literally no such thing as a working royal. Yeah, Faith Miller, there are no players left on the bench. J'accuse, they're so petty, but this means less work for good King Harry, yeah? He can get on with his own work. Distrin, are you going to the funeral? No, I'm not going to the funeral. It's just going to be way, way too crowded. And if you're not, literally, if you're not camping out tonight, I think even if I was to wake up at the earliest time, I don't think I'd get a good view. Because even today, I have to say, in comparison to when I went, like, after the second day, it was very crowded. Like, I left Green Park just as it really, really got congested, and they've put up all kinds of barricades and I'm sure they're going to be working all the way through the night. Like, there's a lot going on down at Buckingham Palace, so I just don't think it's worth me going. And if I'm at home, I can just get pictures from all of the news feeds, and I can kind of just live tweet and live report from home. Miss P talk. Out of all of them, I think Andrew will be the one that will miss her the most. I think he'll miss her protection for sure. Yes, Anna, Red Bull gives you wings. Q doesn't mean that Andrew is back being a working role. I mean, pretty much. I mean, have you seen anybody in the United Kingdom protesting? He stood there in that vigil, and people walked past enchanted. So yeah, Andy's back in the fold. Oh yeah, you're right, Miss P talks. Yes, no, Sarah does have her own apartment. I remember. I reported on the story about this. Thank you for reminding me. But the question is, where did she get that money? Where did she get that money? Anne Lewis, why was Prince Philip's will sealed for 100 years? Good question. It's a question I don't have the answer to, but we can speculate. All right, who's gonna get the last word of the day? The Joe Blogs K is too busy staring at the crowd. Oh gosh, do I have that picture? Yeah, there it is. Not for another 20 years, dear. Kids indoor. Fergie, I guess, got paid hush money. Well, she got that money for that Soho apartment somewhere. Daniel Medical, I heard tomorrow George and Charlotte will walk behind the Queen's casket. That's what people are speculating. Lady Bird, her children's book. There is no way that children's book got her that Soho apartment. She would have had to have sold a hell of a lot of books. Dana, regardless of the outcry of the coverage, it's the King's government and the media is an arm of the government. That's the landscape of the UK, unfortunately, yes. Until such a time that they rebel. All right. Let's look for the last comment of the day and wrap it up. Cappy G, one more day, stay strong. Yes, I agree. And with that, we are done here. Have a great evening, everyone. And yeah, tomorrow is the day. Have a great evening, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. I will do a podcast in the evening. It'll be in the evening. There won't be an afternoon one. It will be in the evening after everything goes down. And I'll see you then. Bye.